Blockchain, crypto, NFTs, DeFi, metaverse, Web3 is literally eating the world, and community builders are the new leaders. Hi everyone, I'm Bilal alamy, co-founder of PyratzLabs, a startup studio fully dedicated to Web3 startups. I'll give the mic to Web3 builders, founders, and investors so that we can deep dive with them into what is truly about Web3 entrepreneurship. No conventional bullshit, only creativity, rebellion, and community-driven insight. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in this new episode. Today we are with Côme, co-founder of NFT Paris. Hello, Côme.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, pretty good. I mean, it's a sunny day in Paris, and the offices looks amazing here.
Thank you very much. We're very happy to have you and to give you a tour. Côme, go ahead, introduce yourself a little bit for our audience.
Yeah, so I'm Côme. I'm one of the two co-founders of NFT Paris, which is a conference that happened like for the second time 2 weeks ago. So this second edition was based in the Grand Palais Éphémère, which is quite a nice venue.
Iconic venue in Paris.
Yeah, iconic venue in front of the Eiffel Tower, and it's pretty special to have like a tech and NFT event there because it's such an institutions like culture, art, fashion there. So I mean, hope it was a huge success. I really enjoyed it. We have like 18,000 people over the 2 days, and really international crowd, people from like luxury, fashion, music, gaming, art.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
We'll get back to it in a few minutes. But before we get into more details, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Lyon, which is a bit more in the south.
Cultural
France.
city.
Yeah, cultural city, like really great food. The city is beautiful, near the mountains as well. So yeah, I mean, I grew up in Lyon. I did all of my study in Lyon until I joined HEC a couple of years ago, where, I mean, it was a great school, great network and stuff. And I really had a chance also to travel a lot during my studies, so it was pretty cool. And then I joined the entrepreneurship program, where I actually met Alexandre, my co-founder, and then the rest is history.
Amazing. I still remember the day we met randomly in this plane going to Lisbon for the non-fungible conference.
So we were on the place to the NFC in Lisbon. And we had like Bilal on the left. We had Adrien from Renaissance just in front of us, and like the whole plane was kind of Web3 folks.
Exactly, it was crazy.
Enjoy Lisbon.
It was crazy. Côme, tell me more, because what brought you to Web3 actually? How did you end up there? And I know a few people from your HEC promotion, and kind of many went into Web3. What happened this year at HEC?
Yeah, there was a great dynamic there. Basically, my journey into Web3 was quite long. Like originally, I'm really into culture, art. I do a lot of photography, and I was always like really interested in creative industries. And like when I was younger, I did short movies and a lot of photographies and stuff. So I was really into this cultural background. And then with the COVID, I was more into it, like with going deeper and deeper into photography and also crypto, because I had a lot of time to spend. So I started with crypto, did a long time with like crypto, and then I actually heard about NFTs, but without really going into NFTs until I met Alexander. Who was really deep into NFTs at the time. And so throughout this whole process, I went like from like traditional cultural, I would say, activities, and then more and more into Web3. And I really entered this space particularly like through culture and not through like the tech aspect of it. So.
Interesting. And what about the entrepreneurship adventure? Is there someone inspired you? Did you always wanted to become an entrepreneur? Where did this came from?
Yeah, so I've always been fascinated by entrepreneurship and like people that build something and that dedicate their like whole life, and not whole life, but like really like all energy into this. And I would say I was always inspired by my grandmother, who had like an entrepreneur at the time and still is. Like she's 86 years old now.
Wow.
And she's still working.
What has she been doing?
6 days a week. She created kind of a brand for kids' shoes in Lyon, and she has like several shops throughout Lyon, and it's pretty successful. So
Okay.
it's always
Nice.
been a model like of determination and like perseverance. So I would say that she was the one that inspired me throughout the journey into entrepreneurship.
Super interesting. And apart family members, I don't know, maybe at HEC or after, do you recognize someone as your mentor, or is there someone who helped you a lot in the beginning of NFT Paris to really, put the inertia of the brand and the event?
Yeah, so I've not like I don't have like a specific mentors in mind, but I've throughout like the journey I always had people like helping me. I did like a lot of internship also in the past, and throughout this process I had like several mentors, people that were like founders, people that were more advisors and stuff. So I did a lot of things. I started with a venture capitalist. People then like more into fintech, and then more into like Web3 at like now. So yeah, I have kind of plurality of people helping me in a day-to-day basis.
All right. And how would you describe the origin of your project?
Yeah, so the origin is pretty funny because like I say, I met Alexander in the entrepreneurship program at HEC, and we really wanted to build something together around NFTs, but we had like no clue what to build basically, and we didn't know that many people at the time into the ecosystem. And we thought, okay, so the best way to meet a lot of people really fast and to learn a lot of things is like to connect people and to do small meetups and then a bigger, like more institutional event, I would say. And so we started this like with a meetup. I think it was in a kind of a shady bar in the center of Paris, which was pretty funny because we had a lot of people coming, and it was like the beginning of where people like talked
The
a lot
NFT
in
trend.
Paris and stuff like that. So it was before the NFT Factory. It was around the time where like Fauve did the auction at her like auction house basically.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny to see all of this energy in Paris. So we started with this meetup, we did a second one, and we decided to do like a bigger event at Station F. So it was in January 2022. And so we started working on this first edition, meeting a lot of people, talking to like all the leaders, both in France and like more in Europe. So we had like people from the Sandbox, from Ledger, RNE, basically like the leaders of Web3 that are French people. So it was pretty convenient that way. And I mean, the first edition was pretty cool. Like we had around 1,000 people coming, and it was only one day. Station F is a
It was
beautiful.
amazing.
It was it was really amazing to see everything that we worked on like brought to life basically on this day. And after this edition, we say, okay, so we wanted to build something, but what we didn't anticipate it that was like we would end up like event producers, and we really enjoyed like producing events. So what we wanted to build became like NFT Paris, basically.
Amazing. And how would you describe the value proposition of NFT Paris?
Yeah, so I think from the beginning, we had like this straight vision for NFT Paris, not to be a tech conference, not to be another crypto conference, but to be like a cultural conference, cultural event that would bring like not only devs, but really like more people from creative industries, so be it like art, gaming, luxury, fashion, music, entertainment, name it. But we really had this strong focus to have something creative and to like kind of put a higher standard in terms of production value and really content on site. So when we worked on NFT Paris, we had like this straight vision. We took like a artistic director to help us like, with the overall like look and feel of the event. We like put really high standard in terms of curation as well for the speakers to really gather all the pioneers of the space and not to have like a plurality of stage, but to have really like one main stage where you have all the leaders of the space coming. So I would say like it's really the value proposition is really about curation, quality, and creativity.
Super interesting. So yeah, I was saying I still remember the first edition. It was amazing in terms of vibe. It was. I don't think you could have organized that at a better moment.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to organize the first one?
The first one, it took us 4 months, but it was pretty short, and like the team was really narrow. So it was a bit like erratic, and during the actual conference, we were like running from one booth to another to fix the technical problems, and we thought that for the second edition it wouldn't be like that, because like we grew the team, we took like a production agency to help us with the venue, because like the Grand Palais is not at all the same deal as a Station F in terms of event production as well. So we grew the team, and like obviously like the D-Day also for the second edition, it was quite challenging, because you had like to go from one place to another as well.
It was pretty big.
Yeah, it was really big.
And so you went from a 1,000 person event to an 1,800 1,000 person event.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing. In this first event, I pretty much knew everyone. In this new event, I pretty much knew nobody. How would you describe your community, and the angle of the creative industry is showing that you're able to touch a much broader audience? So how would you describe your community?
Yeah, I think NFT Paris community is quite incredible because of this diversity. What we really put a focus on was to have people like from all of these different creative industries, so art, gaming, luxury, fashion, as I mentioned, and it was pretty cool to have all these different personalities, and as well, it was kind of reflected also in the way people dressed, in the way people looked, and like it was pretty fun to see people from the Grand Palais facing like people from digital fashion, for example.
Yeah.
Like you have like these like high institutions, really like classy people facing like I don't know, people like from the Institute of Digital Fashion. I don't know if you encountered them. Like Leanne, she's a really tall blonde girl, and she looks amazing. Like they all had really crazy looks, and it was really funny to have like this kind of cultural clash between all these different players. And yeah, I mean, like from 1,000 to 18,000, we went really more international as well. So it explains that a lot of people were not like familiar. Also, I had a hard time finding the people I met before, and you have like so many faces coming to you.
Yeah.
So it's quite challenging during the D-Day.
But that's what we like.
Yeah, but that's what we like. I mean.
And so yeah, from 1,000 to 18,000 people, that's quite a big growth. What's next?
Yeah, I mean, even more people, but we are aware that we need to fix some operational stuff. But yeah, it was like 1,000 to 18,000 over 2 days. Now we're working on the third edition at the Grand Palais Éphémère as well. We're looking into different options, either like doing a third day or like using really the entire space, because like we had like storage spaces throughout the venue. So to really optimize the space, to have like a more amazing experience on site, you know, like a really more, I would say, a pleasant experience for attendees as well.
And you brought the first lady of France.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
That was amazing. Like 3 days before the event, I received an email from like
Her cabinet?
her cabinet secretary, and she was like, okay, Brigitte Macron wants to come to NFT Paris and would love for you to do a tour. And I was, yeah, why not?
Amazing.
And Brigitte come, and it was really, really amazing. Like really high moment for me for the conference. And she's super sweet, and she was really here to learn and to meet people. So it was really, yeah, really amazing to have her. And we had other officials like the Minister of Culture, the Minister of Digital Transformation. So it's really inspiring to have like this French ecosystem, which is really dynamic and active and really like leading the way internationally, and also to have like these politics that want to get involved in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and understand and support, which is like a good way of showing interest.
Yeah.
And what did interest her the most? Is it like digital fashion, art? Did she buy an NFT?
Yeah, that's still in the process. We did like several booths. We did RNE, we did Cod Green, super rare, and then we finished with Tom Sachs. And actually, Tom Sachs was really funny, because like I don't know if he was acting or not, but like he sat her in front of him. Like Tom Sachs had this huge art installation where you had like an interview with someone from his team to access like the mothership and his space program. So it was pretty fun. And she was sitting in front of Tom Sachs, and he was like taking notes. And okay, what's your first name? Brigitte. And like he spent at least like 5 minutes spelling Brigitte wrong. And so it's quite funny. And after last name, and she was Macron, and it was, oh, you mean like Emmanuel? And it was really funny. And at the end, like you had a membership card with like your photo, and it was like on the whole wall, LED wall.
Yeah.
And like everyone in the conference was around like Tom Sachs' booth at the time, and so everyone clapped when you had like the big face of Brigitte on the LED wall. So it was pretty funny.
Amazing. And did someone NFT her face, or
Did what?
someone made an NFT of her face, or?
Maybe I don't know. I'll check.
So, since your main objective is to understand Web3 through a cultural and a lifestyle and an artistic standpoint, did you had brands coming into NFT Paris, and what were they showing?
Yeah, so that was one of our main focus for this year, was to bring a lot of brands, because we think like the value also on the long term is with like the collaboration with brands, and how these brands will use the technology to make it more mundane, and to have like people using the technology without knowing they're using the technology on their daily life. So we had a lot of brands. We had like people from Chanel, we had people from L'Oreal, people from Playboy as well, and they all using like the technology in different ways, which is quite interesting. Like, yeah.
What is Playboy doing?
Yeah, Playboy did like a really community-centric initiative, and actually they were one of the first brands that used the NFT technology, and it was like having like a membership program with like old Playboy covers, for example. And
Okay.
kind of not the same, but how the time did it with timepieces. So it
All
was
right.
pretty cool.
Let's get back a little bit on yourself and your journey to Web3. In the beginning, what did you find hard in this ecosystem? Is it like to understand the technology? Is it to meet with the people? What did you find hard in the...
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to meet a lot of people really quickly. That's like, I think the main point about this ecosystem is that it's
Very
all
welcoming.
about community, and
Yeah.
everyone wants to meet everyone else, so it's pretty cool. What's kind of hard, I think, it's because like it's blockchain, and like we don't have a product, but we also feel this at our level, is that you're like building publicly. So everything you do is kind of public. When you do a PFP project, for example, everything is public. You have to deliver on a daily basis, because everyone kind of
Is expecting.
is expecting you to deliver. So that's quite challenging to have like this daily pressure from everyone, not only like I would say like in traditional businesses you have like your investors, and then like you deliver a product to your clients, but they don't like they have feedbacks, but they're not part of the project itself.
Yeah, they're not like stakeholders.
Here you have like your whole community being like stakeholders of your project, so it's kind of challenging to have
True.
this.
And is there some technical concepts that you find hard to grasp specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most technical person. Like I said, I didn't enter like the Web3 space through technology. Although I was interested in the NFT technology, but I entered it through like the culture side. So a lot of time, like I ended up in conversation with people, and they were telling me about the new standard in ERC that they saw in Denver. I was okay, I have to look into this because because people are telling me about stuff and I don't understand. So.
And on the, I don't know, the cultural aspect of Web3, are they like codes that you took time to understand, or? I mean, the community aspect is pretty cornerstone, and people who are, I mean, open-minded, they reach out, and it's easy to discuss and to connect with communities. But is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, for artists, I think in the Web3 space, if you want like to do art in the Web3 space, it's all about constantly sharing like your content, sharing with your community, having like discussions with them, having Twitter spaces, versus like when you were like in a more traditional sense, it was more like processed, I would say. So you do your art, and then you go to a gallery or auction house, and like it kind of spraying slower, like the momentum around like our artwork could spray slower. Here, like you do an NFT and then you go to Twitter and you say, hey, look at my latest artworks, and like it can go viral in, in 10 minutes.
True. I remember going viral during the first edition with the Dogami exclusible activation.
Yeah.
And what kind of growth tactic did you use to bring in like 18,000 people?
Yeah, so from the beginning, what we knew after the first edition is that if we wanted to go really, really big, we had to surround ourselves with like the best. So we took advisors, we took ambassadors that were helping us like with the vision, with the connections, with like the partnerships and everything basically, because like we had we knew that if we wanted to go big, we had to have help, and so we had a lot of people from Pierre Nicolas from RNE, Vanessa Grelet from like Aglaé Ventures now, but she's know everyone like in the crypto space. She was like at the really beginning of Consensus, so it's quite a large network. And so through like these ambassadors, through these advisors, we were able to kind of reach on a more international scope. Because we, like for the first edition, we had like a lot of international players, but it was like really smaller. And like when we were to talk to like big brands or big like Web3 companies, they haven't heard of NFT Paris from the first edition. So I would say like one advice, get advices and help.
Yeah, no, of course. Like Steve Jobs was saying, don't hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah.
And on the more operational side of the event, do you have some speakers who asked some weird stuff or wanted you to pay them a jet or something? Is there some funny stories?
No, I mean, we had like some pretty demanding speakers because like we had like some really rock stars from the space, but no one was like, okay, I need to come with a jet or I need to have like, I don't know, an entire room with Grey Goose and stuff like that. It wasn't like that. No. I mean, no, it was pretty fun. Like we really had like really great speakers from the founders of MoonPay, Artblock, Super Rare, to like major artists, to collectors like G-Money, for example. So it was pretty cool to have.
The installations were amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
The art installations were really crazy. And
what was your favorite one actually?
the one where you sit down and it draws your ass.
Yeah.
It was a funny one. Cool. The space shuttle stuff just in front of the VIP corner was funny. Obviously, between lines,
it was pretty cool.
Place was nice with the 3D printers. What was the name of the Aka?
Murakami. No.
No.
You had Aika with
Aika,
the robotic arm.
Exactly, with the robotic arm was also very impressive, and the girls were really, really nice there. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun. Even at the entrance, there were a lot of funny stands, and obviously people were super welcoming. The vibe was crazy. I do that for this type of feeling, you know, where everybody is happy and feel we are having an impact and doing something. I don't want to say historic, but kind of its cornerstone in what's going to happen next. And I think it was a success because nobody expected that much people, and when you see that your guys are capable of bringing that much people, then people will say, okay, then we can all bring that much people, and it will create a new inertia in the ecosystem, and that's amazing. Is there a couple of stuff that you learned from the first event, and what did you learn from the second event to make the third one better?
Yeah, I mean the main lessons are really on the operational side, like having a registration system that works better, having like less queue at the entrance, having like a larger main stage. That was one of the big thing. Like at the beginning, we had like this plan to have a really huge main stage on one of the aisle of the venue, and then like about a month before the event, we decided, okay, let's move the main stage upstairs because you have like this crazy view of the Eiffel Tower, and it's gonna be like amazing pictures for speakers and stuff. So it was kind of trade-off that we decided, and looking back, it was cool for the pictures, but like for the attendees' experience, it was less impactful.
Yeah.
So it's really into the impersonal, like having more
But
Wi-Fi.
did you expect that much people?
Like we,
I mean, you sold the tickets, so you.
yeah, we sold the ticket, but what we didn't expect is that everyone would come at 9:30 on the first morning, and like the Grand Palais actually told us that it was insane, and like from the history of the Grand Palais, they've never seen this like large crowd coming like at the really beginning of the conference, and then staying the entire day, and then coming back on the second day at 9:30, and staying the whole day, and like it was crazy. Like the first panel on second day was at 9:45, and like the room was already crowded, like, and people actually, because we had like this issue with like the number of seats in the main stage, people came really early to sit, and then they didn't move from the day. So it was a bit frustrating for people wanting to come, because like yeah.
But you had a couple of screens. You could watch the talks.
I mean, you could watch from the inside of the venue, because we're like retransmissions through like LED screens. But it's not the same, like, to have the experience with like the Eiffel Tower and the speaker just in front of you.
Cool. And so now that you are in event planning and event organization, what do you do to yourself to improve? I don't know. Are there books of famous people who organize the biggest venues in the US that inspires you, or where do you learn to make yourself better?
I mean, it's still with people advising us, and people people advising and helping us. Like, we had different contacts with people from Web Summit, for example, or this kind of really huge conferences, people from Art Basel, which is also kind of a different model, but still relevant. So working on the advices and feedbacks from people from this kind of big intentional gatherings, it's really helpful to grow and to aim at becoming something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I was at Art Basel and it was crazy.
Yeah, you did Paris, Miami, or
Miami in December.
Yeah, okay.
Early December.
Yeah, it looked crazy.
Yeah, it was impressive. It's the American way, like it's huge.
Yeah.
It's infinite. Like the main venue of the. I was working for an hour and I didn't arrive at the end. So it's like it's really big, and a lot of side events and like big organization. But we had a good time with my friend Mo from Ledger.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the last question, but who do you follow on Twitter? Do you have alerts on someone? Who are the most interesting people that you follow on Twitter?
Follow a lot of people on Twitter, actually. I mean, like on the art side, I really follow like Agoria, which is one of my friends as well.
I love him.
Because I really love him, love his personality and love his heart. He went viral with his talk at NFT Paris, like where he sat on someone's lap. It was really funny. So yeah, a lot of artists, a lot of people from like also kind of Web3 photography. So Missa Nariman, who was at NFT Paris, who's like an amazing photographer. Nathalie Ambrosi, Missa Tan, like this kind of people, really more into the art. And
okay. And except from art?
Except from art, a lot of founders also, like Ivan from MoonPay, Matt Medved from NFT Now, basically all the lineup of NFT Paris, all the speakers.
So you can just get the lineup and follow and follow everyone.
These are really cool people to follow.
Do you have a daily routine that you put to yourself? Because you guys work for 1 year for 2 days.
Yeah.
So how do you structure yourself during 98% of the year, and what are the routines to make sure you're on track, you're not too late, you're delivering at the right pace?
Yeah. So you always have like objectives, like time objectives, like okay, in 3 months we should have like 20 partners, and it should be like this amount like of sponsorship, and we should have like at least 3 panels that are ready. But it's
never happens like
it never happens like that. Like it's kind of doing like a business plan. It never happened like that. But I mean, it's always like putting yourself objectives, like to have like by this date to have like at least like 5 top speakers to announce, at least 5 top sponsors. to
Your
announce.
communication was amazing.
Oh, thanks so
Like
much.
it was just what you need, and very efficient.
Yeah, we try to do, as I mentioned, something creative and curated. So to have like, even for the trailers and for the communication, to have something really aesthetic and artistic, and not to have too many communication as well. Not to have like a corporate promotional business event that's pushing like.
It was amazing, and
announcement
it was
all
like
day.
under announcement and over delivering.
Cool.
So that's
That was the goal.
the UGALAB method.
Yeah.
I have a small ritual when I finish the podcast. I have a list of funny questions.
Yeah. Shoot.
I'm gonna select this one for you. Do you think that sentient aliens have pets?
Sentient aliens?
Yeah, like aliens that thinks.
If they have pets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Maybe they have a dogamy then.
Yeah.
All right, Côme. Thanks for your time. Thank you guys for listening. I really enjoyed this moment with you. If you want to join our community, check our Discord. And don't forget to follow us on our podcast. Cheers.
Thanks so much. Bye.